Well, hey everybody, John Ritlin here, and this is my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Best of Super Juniors 26 Night 9 event. I said I was just going to combine this with the Night 10 show, but I found some free time and figured, hey, I want to talk about a few of these matches, so you get a solo review here. Kevin Kelly, Juice Robinson, and Chris Charlton on commentary, and for the second to last night of all block action, pretty much if you're not in contention by the end of this night, especially by the end of Night 10, you're pretty much fucked. And there's a lot of people already that aren't in contention. Like, there's only like 4 in each block that are mathematically still in it. Because anybody pretty much with 6 points or lower, you're pretty much screwed. Because then you get to night 11, 12, 13, and 14, and that alternates between A, B, A, B. So there really isn't a whole lot of time left for anybody to, do anything other than play spoiler, essentially. But we start off with A block action, Show versus Tiger Mask. In a decent match, you had Tiger Mask doing a lot of groundwork. Of course, as you would expect, he did hit some pretty good kicks with some nice arm focus as well. Show coming back with his own arm focus because he has mastered hitting, using the arm bar pretty well. Tiger just hitting some insanely stiff kicks. I mean, not being mean about it, but just hitting some stiff kicks. He wants to win, goddammit. Some really close near falls, including a few where I was like, holy shit. I mean, Tiger Mask might pull it up, but nope. Shock Arrow pins Tiger Mask 1, 2, 3. Show respect afterwards. That was very, very nice. So Tiger Mask is eliminated. And unfortunately, Show's pretty much eliminated as well, but he's kind of playing spoiler. He would need basically a bunch of people ahead of him to lose all their matches, which it's sad. I was hoping the Show would be in the running towards the final couple days, but it doesn't look like he will be. But then we get B block action, Ren Narita versus Will Ospreay. This was a shit more competitive than I thought it would be. This was terrific. This might actually crack the top 15 of my favorite matches of the tournament. Like, I might even end up having to bump it up to a top 20 possibly, because there's just been that many great block matches. Ren Narita showing fire early on. He just was throwing Ospreay around, hitting some good moves. Ospreay, of course, does take over, hitting some good moves like only he can, just using that incredible quickness and agility. There was this beautiful German suplex spot where Ren Narita catches him, and his German suplexes Ospreay and right on his damn head. I mean, obviously Ospreay hates his own neck. I mean, he clearly must, because that's the only explanation for why he lands like this. But we then get more close near falls. We get some other great stuff. Narita kept fighting back. He would not stay down. Ospreay kept hitting him with some big moves. But then there was even a nice belly-to-belly outside where Narita throws Ospreay onto the floor. That was some really good shit. Some great... another great submission move where it looked like, Ospreay was trying to fight off a cloverleaf, and nope, Narita just rolls through, and locks on the cloverleaf. I actually thought they got me. I thought Narita was actually going to give Ospreay a loss. I was like, holy shit, Narita's going to do it. Narita's going to do it. It's kind of like what they did with Shota and Tanahashi in the New Japan Cup, which I honest to God thought that Shota was going to get the victory, and I thought the same here with Narita, but nope. In the end, even after the Stormbreaker got countered, Os cutter for 3, 1, 2, 3. Ospreay and Narita, that was a terrific match. In fact, I think it is going to go on my favorite matches of the tournament list. I'll extend it to a top 20 if I can't just do 15. Because so far, goddamn if this hasn't been a really fun tournament. There's been some misses, and I'm going to talk about a couple here in a little bit. But for the most part, I'd say 80% of this has been decent to great. Where only about like 20% of it has been like, below average, in my opinion. And maybe 20% even being generous might actually be less. Or 20% might be aiming a little bit high. We then get back to A block action. Connemara versus Marty Scurll with Brody King. Pretty much was just the same as other Connemara matches. Attack before the bell. We go outside. Scurll and him are brawling. They brawl in the crowd, brawl in the stands. Back in the ring, there's a ref bump. An umbrella alcohol spot. Connemara tries a Centauri surprise. That doesn't work because Scurll opens up his umbrella, blocks it, and then does another, Marty does his own alcohol spot, hits the Black Plague, 1, 2, 3, not a bad match, but Connemara's either injured or they just don't want him to work long matches anymore. I'm not really sure what the deal is. I was talking to a friend of mine, Bobby, about that, and it seems like they're keeping him short for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what it is. If he's injured, then why maybe have him in the tournament at all, just put another young lion in there, but I digress. B block action, Doki versus Robbie Eagles. Decent, but not great. I mean, I will say this. Eagles showed a lot of fucking heart here. Doki, He is what he is. He's not bad. This might be the best performance he's had so far. He did just do some great heel work. Eagles did start off hot though with a great attack. Doki took over with outside and then hit this DDT spot where Robbie's head must have caught on the edge of the chair. Not as hard as the apron, which as we know is the hardest part of the ring. And Robbie's face, his top of the head here was just busted open, and he bled quite a bit. There was leg focus by Robbie Eagles. A nice DDT by Doki for 2. The Ron Miller special again. The rolling leg lock that he gets. And Robbie Eagles gets a tap out. That's the second time Doki has tapped out in this tournament. So, not bad, not great. Robbie is still alive. Doki is not alive anymore in this tournament. In fact, you could argue pretty much from about the night before that he hasn't been alive in this tournament at all. Because he only has 2 points. Now he can play spoiler. We then get more A-block action. Shingo versus Taka Michinoku. I will say this, Taka was on the offense for most of this with submissions, kept focusing on the arm, on the legs. He did some really, really good stuff, especially after Shingo tried, a clothesline on the ring post. Well, trying to hit Taka, but Taka ducked out of the way. I mean, he's short, so he could have just fallen down just really quickly. But Shingo gets his arm and leg focused on. He does end up coming back, even though Taka got close to beating him. A few pumping bombers, and then Last of the Dragons. 1, 2, 3. Shingo remains undefeated. And he's the only one so far that has remained undefeated in this tournament, because, oh boy, that main event. B-block action. Taguchi versus Bandito. Good stuff. I like the submissions, the comedy. I did like the comedy that they did. There was a bit of a miscue at the end that I'll talk about here. A nice dive outside by Bandito. Taguchi also dives. He kept up the offense. Really good, series of near falls where it's like, okay, holy crap, who's going to get the victory? Because Taguchi still in the running here on this. And there was a bit of a botch with the 21 plex where it's like just where he rolls, Bandito rolls up someone's back, springs up the ropes, and then hits a German suplex. Bit of a botch. He kind of got his feet caught up on the ropes. Still hit the move. 1, 2, 3. So Taguchi, after starting off pretty damn hot, I mean, he's still in the running, but he's going to need quite a bit of help since there's only a few more nights left. This wasn't a bad match. I did enjoy this one. Taguchi's delivered some pretty damn good performances. He might be the MVP of the tournament. And then we get A-block action. Jonathan Gresham versus Taiji Ishimori. And it was decent. It wasn't great. I don't know what they're doing, why they're not giving Gresham longer matches. I'm not sure what the deal is. If he's just there to put people over, fine. Give him some longer matches so he can show, even on, to a whole brand new audience or whatever, as opposed to a whole old audience, what he can do. But Gresham did gear up quickly. There was this cool spot where Ishimori spit at Gresham, and then the bell rang, and and then Gresham tried to spit at Ishimori, but he got up off the mat and everything. It was right in the middle of the ring. Well, then Gresham's trying to go, and then Ishimori dives down, but he dives right into the spot where the spit is, and he's like grossed out, and Gresham's laughing at him. That was pretty cool. Ishimori does take over after a bit, after Gresham had dominated a little. Great submission work by both guys. There was no doubt who was going to win, though. Bloody Cross, 1, 2, 3. It wasn't like it was super short, but I was like, it almost feels like Gresham's matches are a bit of an afterthought, which is sad because he is such a great worker, and Ishimori has delivered some good performances as well. But Gresham is out of the he's out of the tournament, even though I think he has 6 points according to the totals. He's pretty much out of the tournament because all he could hope to do now is tie. He can't do anything more. And then we get Bushi versus Yo. Not bad, not great. I was a bit surprised by the results of this one. Bushi does attack early. Nice action going outside. Great submissions by Bushi. When he wants to turn up and actually do well, he really can. He can be more than just flashy masks and the Bushirooney. Yo comes back. Great quickness. It's really impressive to see just how fast and quick Yo actually is. Bad landing on a dropkick. There's this point where Yo hits a dropkick and Bushi just tweaks his knee or something. He tweaks like his right knee. It looked really goddamn bad. He seemed okay afterwards. There was a great dive by Yo going outside. Some cool momentum switches. Oh crap, Yo got the victory. Nope, Bushi did. Nope. And then Canadian Destroyer, or Japanese Canadian Destroyer, whatever it is, by Bushi, but just 2. Not the last Canadian Destroyer we would see either. And soon after, MX off the ropes pins Yo for the 1, 2, 3. And then Dragon Lee versus Teton. Show respect where they even put a mask on, Red Shoes, and Red Shoes held the Mexican flag up, and that was pretty cool. And Red Shoes refereed about the first minute of the match with the mask, and then realized, shit, I can't breathe. No, I don't want to do this. And I can imagine that wearing a mask would be rather difficult for wrestlers. It must take a lot of getting used to. Tremendous exchanges in the beginning. Obviously, these two know each other so well and respect each other so well. This is one of the matches of the tournament easily. This match was fucking tremendous. Great dives, just the drop kick in the corner, this insane drop kick in the corner. Good God, I thought Dragon Lee took Teton's head off. Yes, Teton, I'm still laughing at it. Teton does come back, a great show of respect in the middle of the match. Not even kidding. They're like, kind of on their knees and everything. They beat each other up and they're like shaking their hands, and then they start beating the piss out of each other, and they do, Poison Rana as a strike exchange, a top rope throw, spike DDT, I mean, good by Teton, good grief. But in the end, Desnucadora, I believe that's how it said, Desnucadora or Destucadora. 1, 2, 3, Dragon Lee, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, gets the victory. So Teton is out of the tournament. Would have been even if he had gotten the victory. Dragon Lee still remain alive, though. He's only got 8 points. He needs some help. I don't think he's going to win it. And it's nice because if he retains the championship after Dominion, they have a couple championship contests set up. So this was fun. This was going to go on my list. And then Rocky Romero versus ELP. Sweet Jesus, this match. Love this match. Rocky reminding everybody just how goddamn great he is. I'm going to go over the spots I loved, but I encourage you guys to go watch this match. That's why this review is going to be a little bit shorter than other ones. But Rocky starting off hot. You get some great, going into the crowd. Rocky was fired up. He was like, I'm going to prove that I belong and that I can play spoiler to ELP, because Rocky's not going to win the tournament. He doesn't need to. But by God, if him and Taguchi have not been the MVP, if Will Ospreay has not been one of the best performers in this tournament, you might as well call him 5-star, the 5-star aerial assassin. Rocky has been right there with him. Taguchi has been right there behind Rocky. There's been a host of really great performances here, and this was goddamn good. Forever, there was, instead of forever clotheslines that Rocky hits in the corner, Rocky's stuck in the tree of woe, and ELP's just stepping on his groin, everything in the corner. So, of course, forever groin stomps. ELP being great, just doing some tremendous heel work. He does, walk the ropes and everything, but gets shoved off the ropes. His arm hits into the ropes, which are not hard, like the apron, the hardest part of the ring. And the mat gets ripped up outside later, even though his arm's hurt. ELP takes a bump, but it's onto the mats. There tease this whole thing of CR2, the facebuster, right onto the floor. That doesn't happen. The near falls were absolutely insane in this, because I kept thinking, okay, ELP is going to win, ELP is going to win. It was starting to get boring and this kind of stuff. I was like, okay, crap, Rocky's going to put in a great performance, but he's going to end up kind of short again. And I'm glad he didn't. Great arm focus of DDT into a Falcon Arrow and an armbar. Good grief. Fucking Christ, Rocky's incredible. Sliced right off the ropes by Rocky. Tons of close near falls. 2 ref bumps. And then ELP goes and gets his Undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship. Tries to have Rocky with it. That doesn't work. And then Rocky does his... And then Rocky, he throws the belt to Rocky. Rocky throws the belt at him, and then he falls on the mat like he got hit. And he's holding his head, pulling the Eddie Guerrero antics and everything, the King and Sneaky style, all that. I mean, there's no doubt that Rocky Romero was influenced by Eddie Guerrero as well. And then he eventually does get an armbar on, and it's like he's been targeting that arm and everything, and holy crap, it's like, was he going to get the victory? He did. ELP tapped out, and let me tell you, that really, really does free up quite a bit of E-block. Because right now, according to the points that I have, it's a tie between Ospreay and El Phantasmo. Now, if they end up tied, El Phantasmo owns the tiebreaker. But this was quite fun, so I'm going to say B. Some of the matches weren't great, but the last 2 and that Ospreay Narita match were really good. So I really did enjoy this one. So B, if I forget to put a poll up there, please let me know in the comments what you guys think, and like, share, subscribe. My Twitter handle is in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll be back Sunday with another New Japan review.